Congress, there's been one company in the headlines a lot lately for all the wrong reasons.
Sasol is expected to make a massive loss.
44 billion rand lost.
They've had huge, massive debt amounting to over $10 billion.
Sasol is one of the most important companies in South Africa, and it likes to remind us.
We do so much for the country. We pay, as you heard, the most taxes in the country by a long shot.
It employs lots of people. We're talking about 500,000 jobs.
Okay, Sasol, we get it. Shut up. A lot of regular people's savings are invested in the company, and a third of all the petrol we use to get around comes from Sasol. The company turns coal into petrol, which sounds pretty cool, but it makes it one of the worst polluters in the world.
The company is the largest greenhouse gas emitter. Residents say the gas are slowly choking them.
Its huge carbon footprint is making floods and droughts much worse. About 224 billion rand worse every single year. And that's the lower estimate. As climate change ramps up and the world moves away from fossil fuels to clean energy, the company is facing an existential threat. We know Sasol has lost 3/4 of its value since 2022 and is facing a bit of a cash crunch. So we kindly updated its corporate video, free of charge. Gratis. Let's get away.
Here at Sasol, we value community impact. We're the second biggest driver of hospital admissions in Mpumalanga, which is why our famous adverts use the phrase gluk gluk, because that's the sound of someone living near Secunda fuel plant, gasping for clear air. In 2016 alone, our pollution killed at least 34 people, showing our commitment to developing the local funeral industry.
We also believe in supporting our community by investing in early childhood development and giving away bursaries. Life expectancy in an environment filled with toxic air and water is short, so let's make it count.
I'm a recent graduate of Sasol's Chemical Engineering Bursary Program, and I'm working at Secunda now as a part of my work back obligation for another 3 years, 48 days and 5 hours.
Our commitment to education goes even further. We don't just want children to learn about the periodic table. We want them to live, breathe, and drink science, specifically vanadium, diethylamine, and potassium carbonate. According to our former employee, who's now in hiding for some reason, we've donated these chemicals into a river which goes into the Vaal Dam.
Oh yeah, I used to work with Ian. Quirky guy. He used to get so caught up in the little details, always worrying about silly things like rivers. Why don't you cry me a river, bro?
What better way to share the mineral wealth of this country than putting it into the drinking water?
At Sasol, we want our shareholders to know we care about ESG, or environmental, social, and governance. There's a saying in SA's investors community that the E in ESG is a silent E. But for us, we care more. We have a silent E, S, and G. This is what our ESG sounds like. We don't even have crickets.
At Sasol, we value being a world leader. Our plant in Secunda should really be called First Up, because it's the largest single-point greenhouse gas emitter in the world. At Sasol, we value consistency. We have a proud history of consistently promising and failing to meet greenhouse gas emission targets, dating back to almost 20 years. This is a trend we're on track to continue, thanks to a careful lack of planning.
Basically, we keep telling everyone that our emissions will magically fall 30% by the end of the decade, but they actually just keep rising.
The only thing falling around here is the share price.
Sell, sell, sell.
In our filings to the US Securities and Exchange Commission, we admit that we actually have no idea if our greenhouse gas reduction goals are possible while staying commercially viable. In fact, we don't know if we can cut them at all.
Who doesn't like a little suspense?
Speaking of goals, we're also really proud of our sponsorship of the South African women's football team, Banyana Banyana. At least they're performing well, helping us to boost our image and protect us from annoying environmentalists.
$1 billion company. Now how do we stop them?
Hate our pollution? Well, now you hate women, you sexist pig.
La Duma. At Sasol, we're proud of our cutting-edge innovation, which is why we're using highly polluting, decades-old technology embedded by Nazi Germany to turn coal into petrol. We looked at Hitler and we thought, what can we learn from this? That helped us massively get around those pesky sanctions during apartheid, helping us prop up a white supremacy regime.
Listen, Hitler was bad. But hear me out. This Fischer-Tropsch technology of ours is really quite something. It works by converting carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas.
Anyway, today we have taken our business model to new markets such as the US, where we're polluting the air and water and soil of communities founded by enslaved people so badly that they are forced to sell their houses to us for pittance.
What Sasol has done is enact a violence on the community of Mossville. Recently, Sasol was ranked as the #2 super polluter in the nation.
We also pay them far less than what we do white landowners, creating value for shareholders.
Feels as though you're being used. You know, Sasol just, they just, in other words, big business get what they want and you get out the way.
Vervoet would be so proud.
But don't worry, we've spent over $8 million on lobbyists to make sure lawmakers understand how good our intentions are. In South Africa, where there aren't any lobbying disclosure laws, don't worry, we don't lobby, we just engage very heavily with the government. And then annoying things like carbon taxes and air quality regulations are delayed or weakened. Because we value our investors' time, we run our AGMs efficiently, reducing the risk of any climate protesters disrupting our safe space by holding our AGMs online.
What was that? Emissions. You love our mission? Sorry, I think you're on mute. Whoops. Oh no, your connection dropped.
Sure, we've made 1 or 2 investment mistakes, but at Sasol, we succeed because we're just too big to fail.
I mean, come on. We have an entire town named after us and billions of government pension fund money invested in us. So what are you gonna do about it, huh?
People accuse us of exploiting the environment to make a profit. But that's an outrageous lie! We are committed to the triple bottom decline, failing on people, planet, and profit.
I'm not saying that.
Read it, it's in your contract.
Sasol has changed my life and is shaping my tomorrow into a fiery hellscape.
At Sasol, we're innovating for a better world. One without Sasol.
Comrades, that was really inspiring. I am ready to take a road trip to Secunda right now. On a more serious note, we know there's a lot of really good people working at Sasol, but there's also some not so legal ones. We need a chasing the sun type of moment at Sasol. Some visionary leadership, a real commitment, and a whole lot of solar power. Let's hear more from Tracy Davies, the Executive Director of Just Share, on what needs to be done to turn the ship around.
Until these companies have to pay financial penalties for the harms that they cause, they will continue to make so much money that they'll be able to have all the influence they want. So government regulation, a meaningful carbon tax, is the most important thing that we have to do. The Sasol, of course, it is a listed company. Its owners are essentially shareholders, and these shareholders really need to escalate their engagement with Sasol. I mean, votes against executive remuneration, voting directors off the board when they are not implementing the strategies they say they're going to implement, and demanding that there is a clear, costed decarbonization strategy, and making it clear that if that does not materialize, the people responsible will be removed from the board. Coming to regular concerned citizens, if you have money invested in the South African markets, it's almost certain some of your money is invested in Sasol. So they should be demanding answers from the people who manage their money about why they are invested in Sasol and what those managers are doing to ensure that this company isn't allowed to continue to operate in such a way that is essentially a sitting time bomb in the midst of our economy.
So what do you guys think? Will Sasol survive the energy transition, or is gluk gluk the sound of a sinking ship? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay away.
This is Fossil Free South Africa. If you want your asset manager to invest your hard-earned money without supporting fossil fuel companies like Sasol, head to fossilfreesa.org.za or the link in the description below and sign our Invest Fossil Free campaign, and we will ask your asset manager to do exactly that.